In grammar, genitive is the grammatical case that marks a noun as modifying another noun. It often marks a noun as being the possessor of another noun. However, it can also indicate various other relationships than possession. Certain verbs may take arguments in the genitive case, and it may have adverbial uses. Placing the modifying noun in the genitive case is one way to indicate that two nouns are related in a genitive construction. Modern English typically does not morphologically mark nouns for a genitive case in order to indicate a genitive construction. Instead, it uses either the s clitic or a preposition. However, the personal pronouns do have distinct possessive forms. There are various other ways to indicate a genitive construction, as well. For example, many Afroasiatic languages place the head noun in the construct state. Depending on the language, specific varieties of genitive noun-main noun relationships may include possession, alienable possession relationship indicated by the noun being modified, composition, substance element source, participation in an action. As an agent, this is called the subjective genitive. As a patient, this is called the objective genitive. Origin, reference, description. Compounds, Scottish Gaelic, ballswas equals football, where swas equals gen, of cas, foot. Apposition, Mount Fuji, Latin urbs Roma. Depending on the language, some of the relationships mentioned above have their own distinct cases different from the genitive. Possessive pronouns are distinct pronouns, found in Indo-European languages such as English, that function like pronouns inflected in the genitive. They are considered separate pronouns if contrasting to languages where pronouns are regularly inflected in the genitive. For example, English my is either a separate possessive adjective or an irregular genitive of I, while in Finnish, for example, minun is regularly agglutinated from minu, I, and n. In some languages, nouns in the genitive case also agree in case with the nouns they modify. This phenomenon is called suffix aufnum. In some languages, nouns in the genitive case may be found in inclusia, that is, between the main noun's article and the noun itself. Many languages have a genitive case, including Albanian, Arabic, Armenian, Basque, Dutch, Estonian, Finnish, Georgian, German, Greek, Icelandic, Irish, Latin, Latvian, Lithuanian, Romanian, Sanskrit, Scottish Gaelic, Turkish and all Slavic languages except Bulgarian and Macedonian. English does not have a proper genitive case, but a possessive ending, s. Although some pronouns have irregular possessive forms which may more commonly be described as genitives, see English possessive. Chinese. The particle or the possessed nouns classifier is used to denote possession for singular nouns, while the particle is used for plural nouns. Examples: Barbar geukk acute I, ngoh gan uk, hi k acute uih di shiu. Chinese. In Mandarin Chinese, the genitive case is made by use of the particle. For instance, I equals cat. However, about persons in relation to one's self is often dropped where the context allows for it to be easily understood. For instance, and both mean my mother. English. Old English had a genitive case, which has left its mark in modern English in the form of the possessive ending s, as well as possessive pronoun forms such as his, theirs, etc., and in certain words derived from adverbial genitives such as once and afterwards. The modern English possessive forms are not normally considered to represent a grammatical case, although they are sometimes referred to as genitives or as belonging to a possessive case. One of the reasons that the status of s as a case ending is often rejected is that it attaches to the end of a noun phrase and not necessarily to the head noun itself, as in the King of Spain's daughter, not the King's daughter of Spain, as would be expected if s were a case inflection on the noun king. Finnic genitives and accusatives. Finnic languages have genitive cases. In Finnish, prototypically the genitive is marked with n, e.g., maa, maan, country, of the country. The stem may change, however, with consonant gradation and other reasons. For example, in certain words ending in consonants, e is added, e.g., mice, miahen, man, of the man, and in some, but not all words ending in I, the I is changed to an e, to give n, e.g., lumi, lumen, snow, of the snow. The genitive is used extensively, with animate and inanimate possessors. In addition to the genitive, there is also a partitive case used for expressing that something is a part of a larger mass, e.g., Juko Miehia, a group of men. In Estonian, the genitive marker n has elided with respect to Finnish. Thus, the genitive always ends with a vowel, and the singular genitive is sometimes identical in form to nominative. In Finnish, in addition to the uses mentioned above, there is a construct where the genitive is used to mark a surname. For example, Juhani Virtanen can be also expressed Virtays and Juhani. A complication in Finnic languages is that the accusative case n is homophonic to the genitive case. This case does not indicate possession, but is a syntactic marker for the object, additionally indicating that the action is telic. In Estonian, it is often said that only a genitive exists. However, the cases have completely different functions, and the form of the accusative has developed from *m. This homophony has exceptions in Finnish, where a separate accusative t is found in pronouns, e.g., kene, who, versus kenen, whose. A difference is also observed in some of the related Sami languages, where the pronouns and the plural of nouns in the genitive and accusative are easily distinguishable from each other, e.g., kuukmi, eagler, and kuukmid, eagles, in Skolt Sami. German. Formation articles. The genitive definite article for masculine and neuter nouns is des, while the feminine and plural definite article is der. The indefinite articles are eins for masculine and neuter nouns, and eine for feminine and plural nouns. Nouns singular masculine and neuter nouns of the strong declension in the genitive case are marked with s. Generally, one-syllable nouns favor the s ending, and it is obligatory with nouns ending with a sibilant such as s or z. Otherwise, a simple s ending is usual. Feminine and plural nouns remain uninflected. Des Betriebs, masculine. Des Lands, neuter. Der Blume, feminine. Der Baum, plural. Singular masculine nouns of the weak declension are marked with an nns ending in the genitive case. Des Robin, masculine. Des Hertzens, neuter. Adjectives. The declension of adjectives in the genitive case is as follows. Personal pronouns. The genitive personal pronouns are quite rare and either very formal or outdated. These are typically avoided however possible. They are as follows. Some examples. Werden Sie statt meiner gehen? Wir sind Ihre nicht wert. Ich werde Ihr gedenken. Relative pronouns. Unlike the personal ones, the relative pronouns are in regular use. They are as follows. Some examples. Kennst du den Schüler, dessen Mutter eine Hexe ist? Masculine. Sie ist die Frau, deren Mann Rennfahrer ist. Feminine. Usage. Nouns. The genitive case is often used to show possession or the relation between nouns. Die Farbe des Himmels, masculine. Das Lächeln eines Kindes, neuter. Der Tod seiner Frau, feminine. Die Entwicklung dieser Länder, plural. A simple s is added to the end of a name. Claudia's buck. Prepositions. The genitive case is also commonly found after certain prepositions. Innerhalb-Tages, masculine. Statt des Hemdes, neuter. Während unserer Abwesenheit, feminine. Jenseits der Berge, plural. Adjectives. The genitive case can sometimes be found in connection with certain adjectives. Wir sind uns dessen bewusst. Ist des Diebstahls schuldig. Das Kind ist der Ruhe bedürftig. Ich werde dieses Lebens überdrüssig. Verbs. The genitive case is occasionally found in connection with certain verbs. They are mostly either formal or legal. Die Stadt freut sich eines günstigen Klimas. Gedenken Sie der Toten des Krieges. Wer klagte ihn des Mordes? Man verdictate uke des Betrugs, the fraud. Further notes: the genitive case is widely avoided in most colloquial and dialectal varieties of German. It is replaced with the preposition von, the dative case, and other constructions. However, this usage is not accepted in the written, formal standard language. Here are some examples of this. Die Farbe des Himmels can become Die Farbe von dem Himmel. Der Tod seiner Frau can become seine Frau ihr Tod. Statt des Hemdes can become Statt dem Hemd. Innerhalb eines Tages can become innerhalb von einem Tag. Greek. The ablative case of Indo-European was absorbed into the genitive in classical Greek. This added to the usages of the genitive proper, the usages of the ablatival genitive. The genitive occurs with verbs, adjectives, adverbs and prepositions. Japanese. The Japanese possessive is constructed by using the suffix no to make the genitive case. For example, nominative, neko, te genitive, neko no te. It also uses the suffix na for adjectival noun. In some analyses, adjectival nouns are simply nouns that take na in the genitive, forming a complementary distribution. Typically, languages have nominative case nouns converting into genitive case. It has been found, however, that Japanese will in rare cases allow accusative case to convert to genitive, if specific conditions are met in the clause in which the conversion appears. This is referred to as accusative genitive conversion. Korean. The possessive in Korean can be formed using the ending ui. This is a car. A Geosian Jaedong Cheerio. This is the man's car. A Geosian Geu Nam Jui Jaedong Cheerio. Latin. The genitive is one of the cases of nouns and pronouns in Latin. Latin genitives still have certain modern scientific uses. Scientific names of living things sometimes contain genitives, as in the plant name Buddleja davidi, meaning David's buddleia. Here Davidi is the genitive of Davidius, a Latinized version of the English name. It is not capitalized because it is the second part of a binomial name. Names of astronomical constellations are Latin, and the genitives of their names are used in naming objects in those constellations, as in the biodesignation of stars. For example, the brightest star in the constellation Virgo is called Alpha Virginis, which is to say, Alpha of Virgo, as Virginis is the genitive of ergo. Modus operandi, which can be translated to English as mode of operation, in which operandi is a singular genitive gerund, not a plural of operandus as is sometimes mistakenly assumed. Irish. The Irish language also uses a genitive case. For example, in the phrase bean and tea, tea is the genitive case of teach, meaning house. Another example is bar and schnoik, top of the hill, where krok means hill, but is changed to schnoik, which also incorporates lenition. Persian. Old Persian had a true genitive case inherited from Proto-Indo-European. By the time of Middle Persian, the genitive case had been lost and replaced by an analytical construction which is now called as if. This construction was inherited by New Persian, and was also later borrowed into numerous other Iranic, Turkic and Indo-Aryan languages of Western and South Asia. Semitic languages. Genitive case marking existed in Proto-Semitic, Akkadian, and Ugaritic. It indicated possession, and it is preserved today only in literary Arabic. Akkadian nominative. Saram genitive. Isat Saram Arabic, called al-Majrur in Arabic. The genitive case functions both as an indication of ownership and for nouns following a preposition. Nominative. Baitun genitive. Babu Baitun Babu el Baita. The Arabic genitive marking also appears after prepositions, e.g. Babin li Baitan. The Semitic genitive should not be confused with the pronominal possessive suffixes that exist in all the Semitic languages, e.g. Arabic Bait I Kitab Akar.